a stadium jungle in football's most exhausting league. The championship means 24 teams, 46 rounds, and 552 matches. The best clubs climb into football's promised land, while the bottom sides fall even deeper into a place that is even harder to escape. Historic stadiums packed with passionate supporters perfectly capture the identity and intensity of this unique competition. This ranking focuses on the places where football is played just below the Premier League. From the smallest stadium to the biggest, we travel across England and Wales, moving back and forth between London and other British cities while exploring the grounds that shape the identity of the championship. Let's dive in. StadiumDB.com presents Sky Bet Championship Stadiums, Season 2026-2027. 24th place, LNER Stadium. Capacity, 10,669. Lincoln City. Sincilbank is one of the classic English grounds, and last season it was home to a League One side that finished with 103 points. Lincoln City have operated here on a very compact scale for years, but ahead of the 2026-27 season, the club announced changes aimed at improving the matchday experience and fan areas. The stadium also has an unusual ownership history. The club sold it in the 1980s and later bought it back from the city. 23rd place, STōK Cae Ras. Capacity, 10,771. Wrexham AFC. This venue located in Wales is still a stadium with a gap where one of its stands should be, but that gap is set to become the most important part of the club's future. Wrexham have submitted an application to increase the capacity of the new Kop stand by an additional 2,250 seats, which would take its planned capacity to 7,750. Once the work is complete, the stadium is expected to return to a four-sided layout and exceed 18,000 seats. 22nd place, MATRADE Loftus Road Stadium. Capacity, 18,439. Queen's Park Rangers. Loftus Road is a stadium where the lack of space is both its biggest problem and one of its biggest strengths. QPR have long been unable to meaningfully expand the ground in its current location, which is why ideas of moving to a larger stadium in West London have regularly returned in the past. Instead of a major redevelopment, the club is currently making smaller changes, including additional rail seating sections for the 2026-27 season. 21st place, The Den. Capacity, 20,146. Millwall FC. For years, the Den faced an uncertain future because of disputes over the land around the stadium and regeneration plans for this part of London. The situation changed when Millwall signed a 999-year lease with Lewisham Council. This secures the club in its current location and allows it to think about the future of the stadium and the surrounding area without the pressure of relocation. 20th place, Fratton Park. Capacity, 20,867. Portsmouth FC. This is one of the oldest stadiums in the division, and its south stand still carries the distinctive structure associated with Archibald Leitch. Portsmouth have been modernizing the ground in stages for several years, rather than returning to older plans for an entirely new stadium. The biggest long-term topic remains the expansion of the north stand, although its pace also depends on wider transport changes around Fratton Station. 19th place, Swansea.com Stadium. Capacity, 21,000. Swansea City. In Swansea, the stadium opened in 2005 as the new home of Swansea City. For years, the ground was shared with rugby, but that chapter is effectively coming to an end, as the Ospreys are preparing to move to the redeveloped St. Helens. For Swansea City, this means that the 21,000-seat stadium is becoming more and more of a football-specific venue, with the club now taking greater control over the atmosphere, scheduling, and long-term identity of the ground. 18th place, Turf Moor. Capacity, 21,944. Burnley FC. One season in the Premier League, the next in the Championship. In Burnley, league football has been played on the same site since 1883, placing Turf Moor among the most historic stadiums in England. The ground was redeveloped after the Taylor Report and adapted to the requirements of an all-seater stadium. In recent years, Burnley have mainly focused on targeted modernization works rather than major expansion. 17th place, Vicarage Road. Capacity, 22,200. Watford FC. Watford have played at Vicarage Road since 1922, while the current layout of the stadium is the result of several redevelopment phases, especially from the 1990s and the modernization works of 2013 and 2014. One distinctive feature is that each of the 4 stands has its own identity, from the Rookery stand to the Sir Elton John stand. After earlier discussions about a new stadium, the club still operates at a ground deeply tied to its town centre location. 16th place, Deepdale Stadium, capacity 23,404, Preston North End. In Preston, the stadium has an exceptionally long history, as the Deepdale site has been used by the club since the 19th century. Today's stands, however, are much newer, with the stadium redeveloped in stages between 1995 and 2008. Ahead of the 2026-27 season, Preston announced a 7-figure investment in a new pitch, described by the club as the biggest refresh of the playing surface in many years. 15th place, the Hawthorns, capacity 26,804, West Bromwich Albion. In West Bromwich, we have a stadium that has been connected with the club for more than 125 years. The Hawthorns also has a very specific geographical distinction. It is the highest ground in the Football League, standing around 551 feet above sea level. The stadium underwent its biggest changes towards the end of the 20th century, when the old terrace-based layout was replaced by an all-cedar ground. 14th place, Ashton Gate, capacity 27,000, Bristol City. In Bristol, the stadium's biggest transformation has already taken place, with Ashton Gate gaining a much more modern look and longer-term future between 2014 and 2016. The venue is also important beyond football, as in September 2025, it was one of the main knockout stage stadiums for the Women's Rugby World Cup. The next stage of development is more about the surrounding area than the stands themselves, with the sporting quarter set to add, among other things, an arena for the Bristol Flyers, a hotel, parking, and new commercial functions. 13th place, the Valley, capacity 27,111, Charlton Athletic. In Charlton, the stadium has one of the more interesting stories in this entire ranking, as it was built in a former chalk pit and largely through the work of supporters. The club left the Valley in 1985, and the return in 1992 only became possible after strong mobilization from the fans. In October 2025, Charlton extended the lease on the stadium and training ground until June 2040. We're halfway through, so it's a good moment to ask you for a like and a subscription. Thanks for the support. Now, let's move on to the bigger stadiums in our ranking. 12th place, Carrow Road, capacity 27,359, Norwich City. In Norwich, the stadium is a particularly active topic today, as Carrow Road is set to undergo modernization, although the plan caused resistance from some supporters from the start. The most controversial element involved the relocation of around 3,000 season ticket holders, which even led to the project being temporarily paused. In January 2026, however, the plans returned to the table after planning approval was secured. 11th place, Toughsheet Community Stadium, capacity 28,723, Bolton Wanderers. After winning the playoffs, the 5th-placed team from last season's League One secured promotion. In Bolton, we have a very unique type of venue, a late 1990s stadium built after the Taylor Report. The former Reebok Stadium replaced Burnden Park, although its location outside the town center caused mixed reactions among some supporters from the beginning. Its integrated roof supports and floodlights are distinctive features, while one unusual addition is the hotel built into one of the stands, with rooms overlooking the pitch. 10th place, St Andrews at Knighthead Park, capacity 29,409, Birmingham City. In Birmingham, St Andrews remains one of the most historic stadiums in the Championship. Opened in 1906, it has 4 stands: the Cop, Main Stand, Tilton, and Gilmerrick, and today holds just over 29,000 fans. It is not a futuristic arena, but a tight, old-school football ground with more than a century of Birmingham City history inside it. The club's future may point toward Powerhouse Stadium, but for now, St Andrews still carries the story. 9th place, Bet365 Stadium, capacity 30,089, Stoke City. In Stoke, the current stadium replaced the Victoria Ground and opened in 1997. already as a venue for a new era of English football. In 2017, the missing corner was filled in, increasing the capacity to 30,089. In recent seasons, the club has improved the way the stadium functions, with new LED lighting, the booth and quarter fan zone, safe standing, and the relocation of the away section to the southeast corner. 8th place, Ewood Park. Capacity, 31,367, Blackburn Rovers. In Blackburn, the stadium has been in use since 1882, but today's Ewood Park is mainly the result of a major redevelopment from the 1990s. The ground is now much larger than Rovers' current attendance needs. The latest stadium-related topic is a full reconstruction of the pitch and its infrastructure ahead of the 2026-27 season, following water problems and postponed matches. 7th place, Molineux Stadium. Capacity, 31,750, Wolverhampton Wanderers. After a disastrous season, Wolves are returning to the Championship for the first time in 8 years. The stadium has been used by Wolves since 1889, but the current Molineux shows traces of several different redevelopment eras. The club's biggest ambitions once involved expanding the ground to around 50,000 seats, with the first stage being the redevelopment of the Stancullis stand in 2012. Today, Wolves are not returning to plans on that scale. 6th place, Bramall Lane. Capacity, 32,050, Sheffield United. In Sheffield stands one of the oldest active stadiums in professional football. The club has long had a concept for expanding Bramall Lane, mainly by adding a second tier to the south stand and increasing capacity to around 41,000. According to the latest information, however, there has been no breakthrough in delivering that expansion. For now, the stadium remains a classic four-stand ground with deep football traditions dating back to the 19th century. 5th place, St. Mary's Stadium. Capacity, 32,384, Southampton FC. In Southampton, the move from the Dell was necessary because the old stadium was too small and very difficult to expand further. St. Mary's opened in 2001 and immediately gave the club more than 30,000 seats, a completely different scale from its previous home. In the past, there were visions of expanding the stadium to around 50,000, but without a concrete timetable or the status of an active project today. Instead, the club invested in a completely new branch of development. They opened a spying department. 4th place, Cardiff City Stadium. Capacity, 33,280. Cardiff City. Cardiff City are returning to the second tier surprisingly quickly. The stadium has been the club's main home since 2009, as well as an important venue for the Wales national team. After the expansion of the Ninian Stand in 2014, its capacity rose to more than 33,000. In 2026, preliminary discussions emerged about further increasing the stadium's capacity to around 45,000. But for now, this is not an approved project with a confirmed construction timeline. 3rd place, Pride Park Stadium. Capacity, 33,597, Derby County. In Derby, the move from the baseball ground to Pride Park was a typical step for English football in the 1990s. The new stadium opened in 1997 as part of a wider redevelopment of former industrial land around the city. In October 2025, the stadium also gained a fresh international touch by hosting the England women's national team match against Australia. Today, Pride Park remains one of the larger and more modern stadiums in the Championship, with space for more than 33,000 supporters on match days. 2nd place, Riverside Stadium. Capacity, 34,742, Middlesbrough FC. The decision to build a new stadium came from the limitations of Ayresome Park, which could not be sensibly expanded in its built-up surroundings. The Riverside opened in 1995 on the banks of the River Tees, and just 3 years later, it was expanded to more than 34,000 seats. The stadium remains one of the most characteristic examples of the new wave of English grounds from the 1990s. 1st place, London Stadium. Capacity, 62,500, West Ham United. Whether it was Tottenham or West Ham, first place in this championship stadium list was guaranteed for one of them. At the top is a venue from a completely different category, the Olympic Stadium from 2012, later converted for West Ham United. For football matches, its capacity increased to 62,500, giving the club a scale more typical of European competitions than the second tier. The stadium still keeps many traces of its Olympic design, including the wide bowl structure and athletics-based layout, although major reconstruction work added retractable seating closer to the pitch after West Ham moved in during 2016. After West Ham's relegation to the Championship, London Stadium became the biggest and most unusual stadium in the entire league. Which stadium was the last one larger than London Stadium to play in the second tier? Write your pick in the comments. Make sure to follow us on social media and visit our website for more stadium stories. See you next time.